so beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty along the fruited plain. America, America, God sheds His grace on thee, and through thy good, with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. I pledge allegiance. No, I'm going to take my hat off. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we've watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. In memory of Joseph W. Koch, veteran United States Army, dedicated public servant. Vincent Fry, Robert Dostey, William Peters, John Cunningham, Betty Cunningham, Edward Rush, Stan Brunson, Rick Brunson, Captain Al Johnson, Kenneth B. Eves, Joseph A. Brill, William Langerham, Charles Hegarich, Jeffrey Clifford. These are just a few of the many names that are here at the City of Quincy War Memorial, which is down the street from my house, my place. And I've come here today on Memorial Day 2025, May 25th, 2025, federal holiday, a day off. And I've come to do Live and Learn, the morning gratitude show. And it's a late edition. I slept in because I had the day off. And I'm grateful and blessed. And I do a daily, I usually do a very regular spiritual show on gratitude. And maybe one of the foundations should be the veterans of America. And I think we should upgrade my foundation list. Because I start off my gratitude list, my daily gratitude list, with what I call the foundation method. It started with 5. It opened with 6. It built to 6, built to 8. It's currently at 10, and there's room to grow. And the gratitude list is something I started over 5 years ago from the advice of another American who had been through his live and learns and found this method of gratitude through recovery and seeking a better life for himself, for his family, his kids. And so I took that idea of gratitude, of using a gratitude list, but it didn't come with instructions. There was no model, there was no how-to, there was no IKEA or Lego style pictogram telling you how to assemble this thing called gratitude, this gratitude list. I use a wired headphone. I have an old iPhone. So buttons, as Ma says too. Live and learn is a momism. It came from Maureen O'Sullivan, my mother, who passed away last year. I'm grateful and blessed for her. So, I started off so I made a structure to this gratitude list idea I had when it comes to a YouTube content. When I was doing it on paper and pen, it was a bit more organic. It was just from the top of my head, and I tried to find different things to be grateful for. And I still do every day, too. I would write these things down on these blessings, these gratitudes down on yellow legal pad with blue medium ballpoint ink, such as the Bic Biro or the Clear Stick, two of my favorite kinds of writing implements. But it has to be blue, it has to be ballpoint, and it has to be a medium ballpoint. I don't like fine or very fine. They don't have dull. That comes with the writer's hand. But I digress. So I started off my gratitude. So one thing I noticed about the gratitude list was after they accumulated, I would fill up both sides of the page. I would put as many days. I would just use the lines, like just right across the page. Day, date, gratitudes. Day, date, gratitudes. Day, date, gratitudes. Turn the page, flip the pad over, and fill up both sides of the page, And it's legal pad, so it's a little extra long, lengthwise. It's not length, it's frequency. That's what she said. Ayo, waka waka. So I noticed this a few times when my day was going sideways. I got the idea. I was having a bad day. I was having the sideways moments that all strung together. I was down in the dumps. I was blue. And it was before I turned 50 when I really made the conscious choice to let things go and to stop being such an emo and to stop harping on things that are partially in my control, that are kind of out of my control, and that I don't need to bemoan anymore. So turning 50, I turned a corner and I let a lot of things go. I felt that was, so I'm grateful and blessed to have lived long enough to have achieved that level of wisdom. But I noticed with the gratitude lists that, when I had these pre-50, pre-middle, officially in middle age, world oldest teenager kind of, bouts of moodiness, blues, or depression, I would read my old gratitude lists and I would find that I had the ability to literally count my blessings. I could say I was grateful for 12 things this morning. I was grateful for 14 yesterday. There would be overlap. Sometimes I would repeat myself, but for the most part I didn't. You had 11 this day last week. You had 14 again, last Tuesday. And on it went. And I came to the realization that I could count my blessings. And it had this palpable power it arrested, it stopped cold the inertia of these sideways moments and of these bad days and of these blues. And that it gave me a new space, a neutral space where I could count my blessings. And I could make a conscious choice now. I am a conscious choice. Are you, I learned this in spirituality through Deepak Chopra, are you a pre-programmed set of reflexes, or are you an infinite choice maker? So I feel that I am the infinite choice maker. And so I gave myself that option of choice using this neutral space, that I could continue to have a shitty day, and that would be a conscious choice. Or I could do something else. I could do something different. I could make my day better. And over the years, that wisdom, that realization, that perspective that it gave me, not only gave me a greater purpose, it helped me rein in and reformat my self-talk. So now my self-talk is a lot more useful, it's a lot more positive, it's a lot more calming. I'm not a constant churn of this, that, the other thing, of disappointments, of scenarios, of situations, of imaginary fighting with people past, present, and future, especially people on the internet who may or not be anonymous and or may or not be trying to just get a rise out of your bad reaction. I had the ability to reformat my self-talk, and that's been one of the most powerful things to come from within. Now my self-talk asks me questions like, how is this helping? That's a really good one, and that's a powerful question to ask yourself. How is this helping? You know what you usually do. How does that usually help? Would that help the situation now? Can you do something better? Can you do something? What can you do different? Great questions to ask. Other statements such as, you need to run your anger or your anger will run you. You need to run your day or your day will run you. You need to run your workload or your work list or your work list will run you. And all down the line, that can apply to almost everything in your life. Try that with your kids. Seriously. I mean, I'm childless. I don't have kids this life. And hopefully this is the life where I break the cycle of samsara, of birth and rebirth. I am looking for moksha, for spiritual enlightenment, to break free of the cycle of birth and rebirth and rejoin the great Atman and the great sea of non-local being. How do I start off my gratitude list? I usually start it off with what I call the foundation. I am grateful for my family, for my friends, for my faith, for my freedom. So in a way, I do thank the veterans. For my family, my friends, my faith, my freedom, my health, my union job, a good night's sleep, a solid breakfast, the peace that comes from being a single man my age, and my sobriety for what it's worth, for what today holds for my sobriety. Its peaks and valleys, its wins and losses. And I'm very, very grateful for my country, for being in America, for being an American in America in 2025, in the early 21st century. We are 1/4 away through the 21st century. Mary Mullen, U.S. Navy, World War II. James Foley, U.S. Navy, World War II. Charles Donovan Jr., Captain, United States Marine Corps. Vincent DeRubio, United States Navy. Paul Della Barbara. So what does SP5 mean? I have no idea. Keith McAuliffe. Richard W. Martell. Stephen Pekarsky. Gloria Noble. Andrew Torrenson. Clarence Breska. All of these bricks have names. This is a memorial, a military memorial, a war memorial, a veterans memorial of people who have gave their all in conflicts, defending our nation, our way of life, our culture, our borders, the big fights, the little fights, and everything in between. It's Memorial Day, so let's thank, from the American Revolution, that this city of Quincy, celebrating its 400th anniversary. The city of Boston, which is right across the river Neponset, that away, will be celebrating its 400th birthday in 5 years. And I'm born and bred in South Boston. This is the home of the American Revolution, its birthplace. Lexington and Concord are over the River Charles, over there on the other side of the harbor. So from the American Revolution all down to today, in every conflict and every war in between, and for every serviceman and every servicewoman that has paid the ultimate sacrifice and gave their lives in defense of this country, its ideals, representing the armed forces of this country, thank you. I'm a civilian. I have asthma. I could never have joined the Army, or the Navy, or the Air Force, or the Marines, or the Coast Guard, or even Space Force. I would have loved to have been a chaplain. Could you believe that? I always wondered if there was room for me in the armed forces, if they needed a chaplain. You know, I'm a non-denominational, internet-ordained spiritualist, independent. Wouldn't that be great? I used to have a dream that I should be chaplain, for the House of Representatives or the chaplain of the Senate. That would be like, a really, noble goal to have. Way back in the day, it was when I was younger. When I was a young spiritual person, half a lifetime ago. But I am a civilian, lifelong. And I'm grateful and blessed for that. Like the incursions into this nation, be it Pearl Harbor, 9/11, or even if you consider, a porous border, northern and southern, to be, attacks in the nation like that, we've weathered them. Dedicated in the memory of Mike O. Maher, U.S. Navy, Korea. Ralph J. Maher, U.S. Navy, Vietnam. This is a place of reflection and of respect. And God bless every one of these souls that gave their life for our country. Flags for vets, the Sons of American Legion, and flags for Veteran Island, memorial flags. And there's another sign over here. Just trying to get the Healing Tree Honor Roll, Morris at Post, 294. This is the memorial in my neighborhood, and here we are on Memorial Day, and I am blessed and grateful. And this is the millstone that was used at the ancient grist mill, which stood opposite near the brook, 1640 to 1825. People would grow corn, or because corn was native to North America, but corn and wheat and barley, and they would grow their corn, grow their wheat, grow their barley, and they would bring it to the mill, and they would mill their flour. And for almost 200 years, this was the community millstone. Ain't that wonderful? That's a piece of living, that's a piece of history right here. 15 years after the establishment of the city of Quincy, the public millstone. And this has been Reverend Sully on Memorial Day 2025 with Live and Learn, the Gratitude Show. I am grateful and blessed for my family, for my friends, for my faith, for my freedom, for my health, for my union job, a good night's sleep, a solid breakfast, the peace that comes from being a single man of my age, my sobriety, whatever that holds today. And I am most grateful for the U.S. military that has kept us the greatest nation on this planet ever in history. And for all the veterans out there still living, we'll see you on Veterans Day. Because every veteran out there who celebrates Veterans Day takes a knee, says a prayer, lights a candle, sheds a tear, because they probably knew someone that one of these flags potentially represents, or in every other of the memorials along the 50 states and commonwealths of this United States of America. Alrighty, God bless, namaste, good luck. Have a wonderful day off if you have the day off, and reflect, give thanks, be blessed, be grateful for the military, be grateful for our armed forces. Be grateful for your veterans. It's not their day. Veterans Day is to celebrate the living. Memorial Day is to celebrate the fallen. All right. God bless, namaste, good luck. We will see you with more gratitude. God bless America and you.